It's a Wednesday night, and Wet Brain Cheese has been slacking a little bit. Season 3 might be over, but we still need to push on with the FPL podcast until the season is over. We missed a game week. Oh, I'm not drinking cans on a Wednesday. We missed a game week, which was game week 28. No, game week 27. So we're going to go over game week 27. I did not record any of the movements in the table, which is what I find generally most interesting and probably most exciting. And I usually do screenshot it. I just didn't catch it on time the other day. But I did, however, go through all the points and take some notes because there's some serious pointage in this game week. So we'll start from the top. I think Trev, aka Luke McLeod, had already taken the top spot at this point. But he got 105 points, which was the highest game week score of the second half of the season so far. So he has beaten out Rory Ford and Steve O'Ward for the cash on the highest points table. So 105 points. His standout players were pretty much all of them. He got 9 points for Raya, 9 points for Estupinian, 5 points for Trippier, 8 points for Henry from Brentford, Solly March 11, Matoma 12, Kane 13. He captained Tony for 26 points and had 6 points for Haaland. Good buzz out of Trev McLeod, and he has severely put all of the doubts at the start of the season that I had. There weren't really doubts. It was just shy talk, and it backfired on me completely, even still. Rory Ford, 97 points. Much of the same squad, to be honest, as Trev's, swapping out Henry for Ben Mee. He had Matoma, he had Odegaard in the middle, Ollie Watkins for 8 points. He captained Tony and he had Haaland. He also had 6 points on the bench for Zinchenko, which he probably could have used in place for Rashford or Saka. He probably could have taken forward up past the 100-point mark, but it didn't. So it hasn't. Dan Redmond, 84 points. He had Badnarek 6 points, Tarkowski 8 points, Trippier 5 points, March 11, Salah 0. I'm glad I wasn't the only person to fall victim of Salah. Kane 13, Haaland 6, Tony captain 26 points. Everyone seemed to go with Tony for, not everyone, but a lot of people seemed to go with Tony for the captaincy, and it paid off. I don't have Tony, so I didn't put him in the captaincy. Oh no, okay. No, okay. So, after that, another standout player was Dermot O'Neill, 93 points. He had Saliba at the back, Trippier with 5 points, Estupinian with 9, Odegaard with 7. He had Matoma as his captain, 24 points, Kane 13 points, Tony 13, Haaland 6. He also had Tarkowski 8 and Ederson 6 on the bench, which probably would have helped him out a slight bit more. I think, that would have. Steve-O, Derek Carey, Bino Faulkner, all almost identical scores at the top, which is why they're not getting individual mentions, even though they had pretty decent scores. Christopher Kennedy almost done it again, missing out on the highest score, or the highest game he scored so far, by 2 points to Trev. And I was actually convinced that Christopher Kennedy actually had it until Daniel Redmond pointed out that Trev was probably going to pip him to the punch, and he did just that. So Christopher Kennedy, aka my dad, had Raya, Trippier, Mihi and Dunk. Matoma, Amron, who got 9 points. He captained Tony, and then you had Haaland and Kane, and he also had Zinchenko on the bench. So Zinchenko is one of the might be one of those ones to haunt a few people maybe in the coming weeks. On to Stephen Ryan, who had the second lowest point score of the game week. This is game week 27 now. Just remember, we're gonna do a quick skim through game week 27 and into game week 28. Stephen Ryan doesn't have a bad squad, just wrong captaincy choice and a shite defence let him down. 49 points. Next up is me, Dean Doyle, 85 points, which is admirable, if I do say so myself. 2 game weeks have taken me from pretty much second last up to 10th place at this stage. Diaz for 5 points, Gabriel for 14 points, Estupinian for 9, Arnold, Salah and Gakpo for a combined 4 points, because we are shit cunts and couldn't just get past Bournemouth, who are bottom of the league. I had Matoma for 12, March for 11. I had March as my captain, so I got 22 points, and I had Kane for 13 points up front. Now, another honourable mention is Keith Bridgman, and I wish I only got my haircut today, and I had these notes written out like days, and I completely forgot about this, and I should have mentioned it obviously while getting my haircut. Keith Bridgman scored the lowest points of the game week, 39 points. He actually captained Trent Alexander-Arnold. The only players to get him 5 plus points, as in, 5, any higher than 5, is Ramsdale, Trippier, Odegaard and Haaland. He had Brighton's Steele on the bench for 11 points. Yikes, man. If you listen to this podcast and you get your haircut by Keith Bridgman, I would be mentioning that all the time. That last couple of sentences was borderline incoherent because my mind was on something else. I have this, one last mention, but not really a mention. Owen Hegarty gets no mention this week, even though his team was okay. It wasn't the worst, it wasn't the best, it was alright. It was an alright team. But he's not doing too good, so he's not getting a mention. Bottom is still Mikey Rooney, but I know for a fact that he has not touched his team, so it's not even worth talking about really. But yeah, no, my mind is elsewhere. My mind is elsewhere today because I was watching Below Deck on Netflix, which is a reality TV show if you haven't seen it, and they basically cater for these super rich fucking punters on yachts, and this is a sailing yacht one, and the captain looks like an actor who is literally like a character actor who is in pretty much every second film that you will see, but he's never the main character. He's just in the background all the time, and I can't fucking find out who he is because I can't remember one single film that he's in. I can't even remember a single film where I've seen him with another actor that I can search that actor and find out who he is, like, do you know what I mean? So my head has literally been there since 7 o'clock this evening. But yeah, should we move on to the actual game week that we're on? Like, we're in the international break now, but might be worth a bash to go ahead and just go on to game week 28, baby. So for game week 28, I want to make sure it is game week 28 actually. Hold on a second now. Just because I get very confused with the game weeks. The game weeks come thick and fast. Like myself. Jesus. Yeah, game week 28. So the top 3 has not moved since the previous week. In the top 3, because I wasn't able to tell you what the top 3 was, you have Trev up top, you have Rory Ford in second, and you have Daniel Redmond in third. Now, I did not expect Trev to be up top. There's only 2 points between himself and Rory Ford in second, but I was pointing out that Daniel Redmond and Rory Ford would be up in those money spots at the start of the season. I thought it'd be a bit earlier than now, but they're there, and it's happening. Moving up to fourth place is Adam Kennedy. I think he had a few stinker weeks, but he's making up for it. Jason Gay stays in 5th place while Dermot O'Neill moves up to 6th. Jason Gay, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I technically have the lowest game week score this week, but Jason Gabe might have the second lowest this week with 36 points. But it still keeps him in 5th place. Like, there's no budging, no movement there. So fair play, Jay Gay. Stephen Ward stays in 7th with 50 points. Derek Carey moves down to 8. Did Derek Carey go from 6 to 8? Yeah, it must have, because if Stephen Ward hasn't moved, Derek Carey has moved from there to there. The highest game week score of the week, it's a pretty low scoring week, but the highest game week score of the week was highest game week score of the week. Chill out, man. Chill out. Hold on a second. Let me catch my breath. Bernard Faulkner, aka Bino, with 67 points takes him up to 9th place, while Christopher Kennedy moves down to 10th with 39. You have Sean Faulkner. Actually, do you know what? We'll take a look at Bino's team because it's the only really proper decent points, and I want to know where he got them. So he had a full squad, which is pretty admirable. I'd like to know. He only did one transfer as well, the little bitch. How the fuck did he swing that? He had his defense wasn't perfect. He had Perisic in defense, who got him 6 points, which is fine. He had Saka for 18 points, Martinelli for 7, Jensen for 10, Watkins for 5, and Kane for 12, which obviously is, where the well, that is the team. That is where his points came from. Which takes him up there. How do I get back out of this now? Which basically made him hop, skip, jump a good few people there, including myself. Rob Faulkner moves up into 13th. Oh shit, no, sorry. Sean Faulkner moves up into 11th with 49 points. I moved down to 12th. I think I dropped 2 spaces to 12th with a whopping 21 points. So I'll tell you my team. I wasn't risking all these minus points to get myself a full squad because I have a full squad of double gaming players next week. But I had basically just defenders and Harry Kane. And Harry Kane was my captain, and he was the only person that got me points, basically. 12 points. I had Pope, Trippier, Gabriel, Schär, and Chilwell, who all shit the bed and didn't get me any clean sheets. So it could have been so much different, but alas, it was not. Rob Faulkner moves up to 13th with 43 points. Stephen Ryan moves up with 42 points to 14th. Keith Bridgman drops. Oh, sorry, Jay Gay. I said you had the second lowest game week score. You did not. It was Keith Bridgman with 29 points. So that's twice. That's twice he's had 2 really bad weeks in a row, which drops him down. The bottom half of the table has not moved an inch. Bernard Faulkner Sr. stays in 16th with 43. Gooch stays in 17th with 40 points. Paul Grant stays in 18th with 37. Owen Hegarty, well, not a bad score, stays in 19th with 44 points. And Michael Rooney, with a whopping 4 points, is in 20th. I give myself the lowest game week score purely because I know Mikey isn't paying attention. But we'll take a look at his team anyway, because that is outrageous. So he had 3 players playing out of his whole team, which was Kepa, Trippier, and Nico Williams. Guaranteed points there. I feel like he was let down to only get 4. Good God. So we won't be back with the FPL until after the international break. Thank fuck I don't have to watch Liverpool for another 2 weeks. Take it easy. Plan your team. I feel like, I took a bit of a hit this week. I'm sure a lot of people feel like they took a bit of a hit this week, knowing that they weren't going to get maximum points. I let my team go. I did do 2 transfers and took a 4-point hit to still only get fucking 21 points. But yeah, I feel like hopefully in the next week, there is another blank. This is the game week that's coming up after the international break is the last double game week of the season. And I think there's another blank game week after that, which could fuck a lot of people up as well, but not if you have obviously some teams that have games in hand and shit. I think that's what it's coming down to, isn't it? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, take it easy. Thanks for listening to my Barry White-esque voice for a solid 15 minutes.
Wet brain cheese.